The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, my name is Dylan Pollock at National Mortgage Professional Magazine, and I want to thank you for coming, and I want to welcome you to this webinar, 5 High-Impact, No-Cost Lead Generators, sponsored and presented by NMPU. So I want to thank you for taking the time out of your days. This is going to be a valuable and informative webinar in our ongoing series. Today's webinar is going to be conducted by Ron Vainberg, the Executive Director and Head Coach of NMPU. Ron is a veteran of the real estate and mortgage industry since 1983. As a leading speaker, trainer, and strategic coach, Ron possesses the unique ability to quickly assess any individual business's challenges and provide instant solutions that are simple to implement and provide significant growth results. Ron approaches coaching and training with a singular belief. When you know what to say verbally or in writing, how to say it, and when to say it, exponential growth of your business can happen quicker than you ever imagined. With the committed belief that you don't need a lot of money to make a ton of money in the mortgage business, Ron provides his clients high-impact, no-cost, low-cost strategies that anyone can execute for increased business regardless of whether you are an industry veteran or just starting out. Clients that work with Ron and follow his guidance often experience business growth of 25% or more within weeks of starting. Success does not have to take a long time. You just need to know the shortcuts to success, which is what Ron provides to his clients. Ron works with retail and wholesale mortgage professionals, mortgage company owners, and real estate agents, as well as brokers throughout the United States. We're going to try and answer as many questions as possible at the end of this webinar. And without any further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Ron Vainberg.
Great, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan, you're able to see me in the transmissions okay?
Yep, everything's come through clear.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I want to thank you for being on this webinar today. I was just doing that double check with Dylan because I'm actually in a hotel room in Arizona, and I've been a little bit concerned about the internet. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that everything's going to work just fine, and I'm also going to keep my fingers crossed that room service, the maid service, housekeeping doesn't knock on the door either during the program. With that, today's program is about 5 high-impact lead generation strategies. The first thing I want to do is I want to sincerely congratulate all of you that are on this webinar today. We have over 700 people registered for this webinar today. And the mind-blowing part about it for me is that we all know how low rates have become. And there are a lot of people that are just now, once again, falling into that habit of just going for the low-hanging fruit. Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't want to write as many refis as you possibly can, but time and time again, what happens is the originators, their business slows down. They're like, oh, I got to go and get more business. So they start doing what they got to do to get more relationships and purchase business. Then all of a sudden rates drop unexpectedly, so they run right back to what they were doing, and then they abandon what they were doing before to develop their business for the future. I can't tell you how many originators do it. We don't seem to learn that rates are going to move up, and then all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball again. So I want to sincerely congratulate all of you and thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. The Marketing Parthenon. What I want you to do is I want you to think of your business as, you know, this cross beam, the 5 high-impact lead generators. That's a beam. Now, the more pillars you have holding this beam of business generation or lead generation, the more secure, the more profitable, the bigger your business becomes. And a lot of times we don't have enough lead generators in our business, or we dabble. We have this, we do this a little bit, we do this a little bit, we do this a little bit. And what we really want to do, and what I want to talk about today, is just 5 of many lead generators that I teach and that are just out there, but 5 that don't really cost money. They're easy to implement when you know exactly what to do, what to say, how to do it, which is what we're going to cover here today. So I just want you to think about building pillars, columns in your business to make it stronger and stronger related to lead generation. First thing I want to do is I want to ask a quick question. So Dylan just opened up the poll, and the question is, how many marketing methods do you have? But listen to the question first before you start answering. How many marketing strategies do you have that you work consistently? And let's underline that word consistently, because if you're dabbling, it doesn't really count. So is it 0? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4 or more? Just be honest and take a moment to answer that.
We got the
Dylan,
answers starting to come in, Ron. I'm going to
Okay,
give
you're
them
seeing
a
it.
few more seconds so that we can get a higher percentage.
Okay. Still have a lot of people signing on too. I see that coming on the counter.
We're just going to give 5 more seconds, then we're going to close that poll.
Right.
Okay, so how many methods of lead generation are you consistently implementing? So the answers were 15% said 0,
Okay.
19% said 1,
Okay.
40% said 2,
Okay.
19% said 3,
Okay.
and 7% said 4 or more.
7% said 4 or more. Okay. Now, because this is not, other than these poll questions, and thank you for that, Dylan. You can close that up. Because we're limited in how I can interact with you in this program, obviously we understand that the more you have, the better. Now, do I suggest that when we finish this program today, you're going to put all these in place at once? No. You may not even want to put all these in place, period, because it might not be in alignment with your business model or how you want to do business. But, you know, the 19%, I'm sorry, the 40% at 2 is pretty much the norm. In my travels and working and training and coaching, I find that most originators have 2. But I will be honest with you, what I do find more often than not is that when I start digging a little bit deeper and really looking at what their origination strategy is or their lead strategy is, their definition of consistent and mine are very different. And my definition of consistency, and maybe I should have said this before the question, we're not going to redo the poll, but my definition of consistency is this is scheduled, this is something that, let's say, you know, part of your marketing schedule is calling your database. It is booked into your schedule, so it is an appointment and you do not sacrifice it for anything else unless it's a crisis. If you're meeting with realtors, so let's say you are on a campaign to meet with 2 new real estate professionals or 2 new referral partners per week to develop relationships. Well, if you have to be doing it every week and there has to be 2, that's consistency. Once in a while, if a crisis happens and you can't have that second meeting, then it's still consistent. But when that whole commitment, I'm talking about from the heart and from the head, that you absolutely have to have this in your business, you have to have those 2 meetings, that's consistency. So I think if I had prefaced the question a little bit differently or this way, the poll results may have been a little bit different, but we're still not that far off. I just wanted to be clear on what your definition of consistency, or I'm sorry, what my definition of consistency is, and then you can decide whether that's in alignment with your belief systems or not. So let's get going here. Let's go with number 1. Number 1, networking. Now, there's all different types of networking. There's the BNIs, the LaTips, there's the Lions Club, the Kiwanis Clubs. There's all different types of networks. There are Better Business Bureau, Better Business Bureau meetings. There's all different types of networking functions. Some are strictly business, some are more social, but there is business to be done there. Whether you're going, if you're in a, I'm just going to add this. This really wasn't part of the program, but if you are part of a BNI or a LaTip, I hear from some clients say, oh, they're great, and I hear from other clients that say, oh, they stink. And the truth is, it could be either one. If one's great, you know you're getting business from it. If you are in one of those business networking groups and it's not working for you, what you have to do is, before you assume that it's a bad group, and there are plenty of bad groups because they're not run effectively, and you have a whole bunch of people that belong to the group that are very selfish, meaning they're there for themselves, they're not there to give, they're just only there to receive. And that, if it's not facilitated right, is a failure of the person who's bringing people into the group and also the person who's running the group. With that said, though, when you go to these networking functions, the LaTip, the BNI, and you're not getting what you really want, you may have to adjust how you present yourself to the group. That could be one of the issues. I attend some of these meetings on behalf of clients where they're hiring me and they'll have me actually be a guest speaker at some of these meetings, and I find that a lot of times when the individuals are doing their 2-minute or 1-minute presentation, what they're saying is very ineffective. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right message across when we're talking about delivering what it is that you do for a living, that people will feel confident in wanting to do business with you. That's one part of it. The second part, when you're dealing with like a BNI or a tip, you have to schedule one-on-one appointments with everybody in that room. Don't expect your relationships to really evolve that quickly by just interacting there. It has to be one-on-one because that's where things really get solidified. And you'll find out that if you're having trouble getting those one-on-one appointments with other people in the group, that is a clear sign that there's a problem with the group, because that means, in my opinion, they're not serious about networking. So I just wanted to give you that tip as a, if you're in one of those specific business networking groups. What I'm talking about here today is a little bit more about general networking functions. That could be realtor events. That could be events maybe sponsored by a title company. It doesn't matter if there are other loan officers or lenders there. I really don't care, because most of the people that go to these events go there socially. They don't really expand who they're talking to, and that leaves the door wide open for you, because they're treating it more as a social event, not a business event. If you're going to a Lions Club or a Kiwanis Club or what have you, there's plenty of business professionals that go to these things as well. Although it's not business, it's an opportunity to make sure that you can at least connect with people. Before I go any further, I know I put up this first bullet point where it says making networking part of your schedule. If you are committed to networking as a way of growing your business, it has to be part of your schedule. It's not something you do it when you feel like it. I have a couple of clients that all of their business comes from networking. All they do is they go to networking functions. They go to networking 3-4 times a week, days, evenings, once in a while on a weekend. They will go to a networking function, and their goal is to meet just 2 people, 2 professionals that they can move the relationship forward with. And this is very important. Understand that when you go to a networking function, the goal is not to get someone to say they want to work with you. And that's the mistake that many loan officers make. They go to a networking function, they want to get there, and they want the relationship, they want a one-shot deal to establish a relationship. And it doesn't work that way. The goal of networking is to get them interested enough to want to have another conversation with you. You're going to have to meet with them, just like I said with BNI and LTIP, you're going to have to meet with them outside. You're going to have to do the same thing here. The goal is not to close the relationship there. It doesn't work that way. Now, you go to a networking function, you don't know anybody there. You use the host. The host is your gift there. You're going to go to the host, you're going to register. This is the person who's running the event. All you do is you go to the host and just say, I want to thank you for hosting this event. It's my first time here. I'm very excited to be here. When you get a moment, I'd like to ask you a question, and I'll be happy to wait. And the host will tell you, let me just check these people in, or they'll say, sure, what is it? And then you want to get them to the side. You don't want to do this in a group. You want to have a little bit closer conversation. And all you do is you say to the host, you say, my name is Ron Bainberg. I'm with ABC Mortgage Company. I'm a loan officer. I am looking to meet with, and then you can specify, an attorney, a realtor, a financial planner, or whomever. Is there anyone here that you know that I need to make it a point to make sure I meet before I leave? That's it. You're now using the host to tell you who you should meet, because they're going to say, oh yeah, Marianne is an incredible attorney and she represents, real estate and what have you. You definitely need to meet her. And then you can actually then leverage the host to see if they will introduce you to that person. A lot of times we go into the networking groups and we just kind of look around and we kind of gravitate to people who we feel we're comfortable with. No, get introductions to people. Let all the other people BS around. You're there for business, so your goal is to network with people that are on your target list, meaning the profession that you're looking to grow with. When I'm talking with someone in a networking function, there are 2 key questions that I have to insert into my conversation. Here I'm saying it's all about them first. What does that mean? It means a lot of times when salespeople do presentation. This is not just a loan officer problem. This is an everybody problem. They want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about the business that they're in. They want to promote themselves because they want everybody in the world to know that they're a loan officer. If you want people to like you, take an interest in them first, in what they do. Put them first. It was interesting. I was actually on a coaching call earlier today, and I'll be talking a little bit about this with LinkedIn, which will be another way of really getting great connections and relationships. But what's happened is, it's a client of mine. She just got started with another. She came back into the business, and she's hired me as her coach. And she put it out there that she's now with this mortgage company, and she's getting a lot of people congratulating her. And she went from having less than 100 connections, where now she has over 1,000. And she's licensed in 4 states, so she's connecting with real estate professionals in all these different states. And she's getting a ton of people that are congratulating her. And she's like, well, Ron, how do I leverage this? You know, they're congratulating me, and I know it's, you know, just the people that are hitting the automatic response on LinkedIn, you know, congrats or what have you. It's not really a personal message. So I explained to her what you want to do is, in responding back to them, you want to thank them for their congratulations, do a quick read on their profile, and then ask them a question about their business. That begins the engagement with that person. That's social networking. That's really what it's about. But most people, they just leave it at congrats, and they might respond thank you. And so we're going to talk more about that in just a second, but what I want you to understand is, the point I'm making is, I told my client to ask them a question about their business. So what are the questions that I'm giving you for building a network? Okay, so if I'm talking to you, and let's say you're a loan officer, and I'm an attorney. Okay, so I'm going to kind of reverse the roles here. What I'm going to do, if I'm an attorney and I'm going to follow my script for networking, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you as a loan officer, after I find out who you work with and what have you, I'll say, so tell me, who is your ideal client? Who are the people that you love to do business with? That is a very unique question, and it shows a very sincere interest in finding out more about that person's business. So you as a loan officer, if you're talking to a realtor, who's your ideal client? If you're looking to talk to an attorney, who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal client? That's different than saying, what type of properties do you sell? What you want is talk about clients, because you're implying that you're going to have a reciprocal relationship. So who is your ideal client? And then you can say, as a loan officer, as a mortgage professional, I'm constantly meeting people with many different needs. What suggestions do you have that I can use in my business that I can generate leads for you? Now, you already may know the answer to this. But when you ask them, think about what that's saying. It's showing a sincere interest to network. So this conversation you can actually have at the networking function. What will hopefully happen is, it's going to create the opportunity to explain what it is that you do. But then what you have to do is, you have to leave the meeting with your next step in place. And your next step in place is saying, look, I would very much like to develop a
Hey, Ron, are you still there? It looks like Ron is having a little bit of technical difficulty. Just give us a moment and we're going to get him back on. Hey, Ron, can you hear me? Well, it looks like Ron being in a hotel did get to him a little bit. Hey, Ron, are you back? I think we're still waiting for his audio. I want to thank everybody for their patience. We just had a small technical difficulty there.
Hey, Dylan, you there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We didn't. We only lost. We lost about 6 people. I apologize. I don't know what just happened to the hotel network, and I guess this was the fear that we had, but unfortunately didn't have a choice. So my apologies to everyone. Let me get myself back to where I was. I believe I was talking about this final step. And Dylan, you're able to hear me and see me?
Yep, I'm hearing you clear. I'm seeing you clear.
Okay, good. In putting your next step in place, what happens is a lot of times people say, hey, give me a call next week. No. If you do that, you say, look, why don't we just schedule it now so this way we don't play any type of phone tag. You lose nothing by pushing it a little bit, because if you don't push it, what's going to happen is next week you're not going to get a hold of them. Them setting an appointment with you now, you know, who doesn't walk around with this, okay? By the way, that's my old dog. Who doesn't walk around with their phone in their hand, okay? If you're in a networking function, you've got your schedule here. Now, if they sincerely don't have their schedule, they say, my assistant schedules it, great. Can I have your assistant's name? Could you let him or her know that I'm going to be contacting them? That's the way you really network and build a relationship. It doesn't happen at the networking function. Okay, let's go to number 2, which is LinkedIn, which is what I started to talk a little bit about before. But let's start off with 2 quick questions. So, Dylan, can you open the poll for the first question? Which the question is even just a general question. Do you even use LinkedIn? Meaning, are you on LinkedIn and do you actually log into it and connect with people? Okay, that's the first question. How are we doing with responses, Dylan?
We got 50% right now. I'm just going to give them another 10 seconds to get those votes in.
Okay, good. And I want to thank all of you for hanging in there during my my little reboot with the internet here.
All right, so we're going to close the poll up now.
Mm-hmm.
So 73% of people said yes, and only 27% said no.
Okay, all right. That's good to hear. Now let's go right to the second question. I'm not going to comment on this one. The second question is, do you effectively advance relationships, or do you just make connections? Do you click that button that just says, you know, Ron Bamer would like to connect with you, you know, and you send those out all day long to different professionals, or do you really advance and engage in consistently, I'm going to emphasize that word consistently, to advance relationships? How are we doing, Dylan?
We're actually going to go ahead and close up that poll now.
Okay.
And we had 18% of people say they effectively advance the relationships, and 82% said they're mostly just making connections.
Okay. And that's right on the money. It's pretty close to the 80-20 rule. I've seen it as high as 90-10. If you're not going to leverage LinkedIn, there's no reason to be on it. And let me talk about leveraging LinkedIn. I am not talking about getting engaged with garbage goes on in LinkedIn. I actually saw something the other day It was I think it was a real estate professional, and there was a whole thing. I think she's a bodybuilder. And whatever her picture was for her card or her business, people were ripping into her from all parts of the country and all sorts of things. And I'm just thinking to myself, first of all, I was annoyed that it even showed up in my thread here, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, who has the time for this? I mean, fortunately, the woman was very, very strong and very, very proud of herself, and she wasn't really accepting anybody's judgment because she's very confident in who she is, and I sincerely happy to see that. But I'm not talking about getting LinkedIn and getting engaged in garbage. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is specifically, now this says LinkedIn agent connections. It could be agent connections, attorney connections, financial planner connections. It could be any one of them. But let's talk about what needs to be done with LinkedIn. First of all, if you have existing connections, this is one of the things that I teach my clients. If you have existing connections, there's actually a message that I created for my clients, which goes something like this. It basically says, dear such and such, I'm so glad that we are connected. However, I realized that although we are connected, we've never just had any interaction regarding what you and I do for a living and how we might be able to help each other. Would you be interested in having a brief discussion, or could you at least let me know a little bit more about what you do and who your ideal clients are? Very similar to the networking, but now what we're doing is we're asking them about who their ideal clients are to elicit a response. So the first thing you've got to do is send that message to leverage your existing connections. If you've got them, start leveraging them. It's a waste to just be connected and having them sit there. It doesn't do anything for you, okay? Now, what you want to do is, in deciding who you want to connect with, we all know that on LinkedIn, for everybody who's on it, that it gives you suggestions of people who to connect with. Well, I don't want you spending a whole lot of time researching people who aren't doing business. So let's say we're talking about realtors, what you want to do is you want to find out who in your area is doing business, and you're not going to find that on LinkedIn. You might find that through your title company, or however you're going to see people who are getting awards and research those people. So then if you see that Jane Smith is a top realtor, a good realtor, she reached the platinum club in whatever real estate company. Well, then I'm going to go to Google, I'm going to research Jane Smith, I'm going to look first of all to find out a little bit about her, and then I'm going to go to LinkedIn to see if I can connect with her. And what I'll do is I'll also read her LinkedIn profile. So just hitting connect to people, you're going to connect with a lot of people who all they do is they just connect, but they don't do any business. So you want to research your target outside of LinkedIn and then locate them on LinkedIn. And then what you can do is then make a request to them by sending a personal message. So what you would do is maybe it's something that you read about them on their website, or something that you read in their profile on LinkedIn, and what you're going to do is say, hey, I noticed that you are interested in such and such, and that you're also a real estate professional. That's wonderful. I just wanted to connect with you as I am a mortgage professional. You don't even have to say that you're a mortgage professional. They're going to know you're a mortgage professional. But what you're doing is you're not just saying, Ron Baber would like to connect with you on LinkedIn. By the way, I will tell you there have been times I've been guilty, and I know there's some people on this webinar that I'm connected with, and I'll be honest with you, I know that there were times that I had sent, hey, Ron Baber would like to send you a connection. I don't do that anymore. I don't do it anymore because it doesn't work, because I'm not interested in just connecting with everybody. I'm interested in connecting with what I call great targets, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but people who are going to benefit from who are going to mutually benefit in a relationship with me. People that I can help, people that can help me. And I want you to think about that. LinkedIn is a gold mine. It is a treasure trove of opportunity for you to connect. But don't just connect and let it sit there like 82% of the people that are on this webinar are doing. That's a waste. And the great thing about it is it's free. It's free. It's the easiest way for you to connect with people and start engagement and find out all about them and move the relationship forward to, if they're local, to a possible meeting. if they're not local and you're doing business long distance, to a conference call. Or I'm very big when I'm dealing and meeting with new people. I ask them, I go, do you have an iPhone? If they have an iPhone, I use FaceTime whenever possible. Okay? I use FaceTime whenever possible when connecting with new people, or Skype, because visually you're going to develop a greater bond. So LinkedIn, if you're using it, 82% of you, I'm sorry, 73% of you have it, 82% of that 73% are not using it. That needs to change. Change it right now. You're sitting with gold in your hands to develop relationships and develop business. Move the relationship forward to a meeting. I did mention that, where when you're talking to them, you're engaged with them, then you ask a question, who are your ideal clients? Once you take an interest in someone else's business, the likelihood of you getting a meeting with them goes through the roof. I won't say it happens always, but it happens most of the time because it's the law of reciprocity. So encourage you to use LinkedIn. Let's go to number 3. To go through this quickly with open houses, I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. One, I'll explain the pictures in a second. But the first thing I want you to understand is, what is the goal when you visit an agent in an open house? So here's what I'm talking about, that you decide on a Saturday or Sunday, you're going to go out, you're going to visit open houses with agents. Well, you go in there and you have to understand, they don't want you there. Now, I'm not saying not to do this. What I'm saying is, they don't want you there if there are other people there, okay? Because you're not a buyer. So you have to be cognizant of what's going on in the environment. But sometimes you can get there, and I always recommend, if you're going to visit open houses, go when they start, because there's usually not people waiting for an open house to start. They usually come, the open house is from 1 to 3. They're going to show up at 1:15 or 1:30. They don't show up right at the first. Now, there are certain markets that they do show up early because the demand for housing is just insane. But in most markets, it's not the case. So what you're going to do is you're going to have what I call points of discussion. So hi, my name is Ron Vainberg. I'm with ABC Mortgage. I do not want to in any way interfere with your open house or what have you. I just really wanted to come out and meet you because I did know that you were planning this open house here today. And they're going to say, okay, great, that's have you. And I say, look, I know this is not the place for us to discuss possibly doing business together or working together. What I did want to talk to you about is that I work with agents at open houses, and I have some strategies that actually do a lot of things for them that they don't really usually get out of open houses. I actually show them ways that they can get more leads and attendance at their open houses. I actually show them how they can get more listings by doing an open house a certain way. Of course, I'm going to offer you support at open house. If you ever would like me to sit in on an open house and work with you, I'd be happy to do that. And really what my point is that I would love to be able to talk to you just for 5 or 10 minutes when we're not at the open house. Your goal at the open house, unless they say, oh no, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more, because they have the time, your goal is just to initiate an introductory conversation. It is not to generate business. And I work with real estate professionals, and they tell me all the time that loan officers come in and they just, they show up and throw up. They show up and they say, I can do this, I can do this, I can help you, and they offer the world, but there's no relationship. And I'm telling you, you should never offer the world if you don't have a relationship with someone. Now, here you're seeing in your screen, you're seeing things like these banner flags. So if you're looking at their open house and they don't have any of those banner flags, you can offer to participate in having those. So yeah, you might have to buy a few of them. They're not really that expensive. And you could now make more of an event of their open house. Okay? You're going to see here that you see a barbecue. One of my ninja strategies for open houses is where what you do is, especially now that the weather is nice, what you, in pretty much most part of the whole country, is what you do is you make a barbecue as part of the open house. So what you do is you're sitting there barbecuing and you give food to people before they come into the house. What you're doing is you're changing the whole environment of when they walk in the house, because there are a couple of things that happen when there's a barbecue. Everybody talks about cookies, but cookies are overdone. Okay? Everybody, you walk into every open house and you're smelling cookies coming out of the oven, so it doesn't have much meaning anymore. What a barbecue does is, think about it for a second. You ever stand outside and you smell somebody down the street or a couple of houses down and say, wonder what they're having? It changes your state of mind. We associate barbecues to relaxation. When we are at a barbecue, we are not protective. Our guard is down. So when you have that smell working for you and then offering someone, they don't even have to take the burger. They don't have to take the dog. They don't have to take the soda. But what they're doing at the open house, remember, you're the one that brought this idea to the agents because almost nobody's doing anything like this. You brought this idea to the agent. What you're now doing is, the way I explain it is, there's the threshold. When buyers get out of their car, or potential buyers, or visitors, get out of their car, as they're walking up to that house, their guard is going up and up and up because it's probably not the first open house they went to, and they know what's going to happen. They're going to have to sign in. They're going to have to be asking questions, and they don't want any of that. So what I want to do is I want to break the pattern. By breaking the pattern and bringing their guard down before they go into the house, what happens is when they cross over that threshold, the agent is much more able to engage with the people. Plus, you could also engage me and say, hey, my name is Ron Vamer. I'm with ABC Mortgage Company. I'm just helping out John Smith, who's doing this open house for Coldwell Banker. Glad you could make it. Can I offer you a dog or a burger? A soda? And now you're developing a connection. And then what happens is when the real estate agent gathers their information and you then share the list afterwards, you can contact the people back and say, hey, my name is, this is Ron Vamer. I met you at the 123 Smith open house. I was the one barbecuing. Oh, hey, Ron, how you doing? See, automatically you have a connection with them because their association to you is different than any other place they went. I hope this is making sense. So what I did is I kind of put two strategies here in one. One is visiting open houses, which is to leverage a relationship, and then I just gave you a whole bunch of different ways that you can actually have a discussion with the agent that can get you in their fold of doing open houses and get you a whole bunch more leads. So doesn't cost much of anything to do this, and the power behind this is absolutely incredible. Now, I will tell you, I'm sitting here in Mesa, Arizona. It's 103 degrees outside. You're probably not going to be doing a barbecue at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not really familiar when they do open houses here, but I'm sure it's not at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I can't imagine anybody's going to be showing up. But I could be wrong about that. But you get my point, and this is a great topic of conversation for you to have with real estate professionals. Let's go to number 4, the referral matrix. This is one of my favorite. The referral matrix. Very simply, okay, I'm going to change the way you think. I will tell you this, that my clients that I coach, that I get them totally dialed in with the scripts and everything that they need to do under the referral matrix, without fail, blow their goal numbers through the roof. I have one client who happens to be right out in this area. He started with me last year, and I'm mentioning him because I just did a coaching call with him about an hour ago. Last year in 2015, we started in March. He's actually in Tucson, Arizona, and started in March, and from March to December, he earned an additional $100,000 just with this one strategy. We got him dialed into what to say, how to say it, and what to do it, but I'm going to present the concept to you because I want you to get excited about the concept. Concept is first of all, you got to go beyond borrower thinking, meaning we have referral partners, and everybody wants borrowers. They want more borrowers, they want more borrowers because that's what gets you paid. But if your current referral sources are not bringing you enough business, then what you need is what? More referral sources. So expanding your referral partner network is easier than you think because I'm going to show you very quickly how to do it in a very warm, comfortable way. First thing you got to do is you got to ask yourself, what professionals in your sphere of influence or your sphere do you have a strong relationship with? So what attorneys, realtors, accountants, financial planners do you have a strong relationship with? But listen to what I'm about to tell you. Strong relationship with does not mean that they're sending you business. Strong relationship means that they're going to take your call, and if you ask to meet with them, they would. That's what a strong relationship means. Now, if they're also referring you business, that goes into the category, but I don't want you to just think about the people that are referring you business. I want you to think about the people who know who you are that you should be having a meeting with them anyway. Okay? So you go and you meet with your referral partner. So this is what I teach my clients to do. I'm giving you the short version of it. There's more to it than this, but the short version of it is you're meeting with a realtor that you're doing business with. The first thing you do is you thank them for the business that you do. Don't thank them for the transaction. You thank them for the business that you've been doing together. That never happens. Loan officers typically start taking agents for granted once they start getting business, and they say thank you for the Jones file, thank you for the Smith file, but they don't thank for the relationship. So I want you to thank for the relationship, and you have a whole different framework that's being set up for your meeting. And then what you're going to do is you say, I was wondering if you could help me. And actually, when you made the phone call, you're asking them to meet with them because you wanted to ask them for a little bit of help. Do not ask for a favor. People hate to do favors, but they love to help. So I was wondering, hey, John, can I meet with you for 5 minutes? Won't waste your time. Just wanted to ask if you might be able to help me with something. Sure, well, what is it? Oh, I'd rather do it when we're face-to-face. Okay, it'll only be 5 minutes. In fact, if you tell me what kind of coffee you like, I'll bring you a cup of coffee, and I promise you I'll be gone before you finish it. That's a great way of closing. I have clients using that all the time. They're like, nobody ever says no to that. If the person likes coffee, or whatever it is, say, I'll bring you it, I'll be gone before you even finish it. It makes it very hard for anybody to say no. Then when I'm sitting with John, I'll say, John, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm always looking to do business with professionals like yourself. I was wondering who you know that either in your office or in another office that you'd be willing to introduce me to that I should be developing a relationship with. You'll be amazed. When you ask for help and you ask who do you know that's a professional like them that could benefit from the relationship or the services that you provide, and then you can start asking attorneys, realtors, accountants, financial planners. It's not just realtors. It could be anyone that's a professional that your contact knows. And even if they're not doing business with you, they may know people. You may know an attorney who all they are is a litigator, okay? So they don't deal with real estate or anything else, but you could ask them if they know another attorney. You ask them if they know a realtor. And the way this works very simply is, let's say you know an attorney. Well, attorneys might know other attorneys, or realtors, or insurance agent, or an accountant, or a financial planner, or a contractor. A financial planner might know an attorney, a realtor, an insurance agent, an accountant, a financial planner, a contractor. A realtor may know other realtors, and of course they know other realtors. Here's the beauty about this. This just grows and grows and grows and grows because you might know one realtor who might give you 5 names. You might know an attorney who will give you 3. And here's what happens. You see all these people here? And this is what blows people's minds, loan officers' minds. As you start connecting with more and more people here from your sphere of influence that bring you to these people, over time, these people go over here. And then you run the matrix on them. That's the expression I use. We run the matrix. You run the matrix on them. And now you start building this again. Does this work? It works unbelievably. Does it work very fast? It works incredibly fast. Now, you have to know how to deliver a powerful presentation. You have to know how to get the appointment. You have to know how to segue that if they didn't introduce you, but they just gave you a name and phone number, how to capture their attention to get that appointment. And there's some magic words that I give my clients that show them exactly how to do that. But I want you to understand that even without the magic words, you can still make this work for you. The magic words just make it work faster and better. But this concept, just think about all the people in your sphere of professionals that you could be having this conversation with, that you could be asking for help to get introductions to other potential referral partners. I have some clients that this is all they do. All they do is they run the matrix and their business just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Despite the fact that I tell them that they have to have other pillars to their business, like, no, no, no. What they do is they kind of put in their mind, they're saying, well, attorneys are my pillars, realtors are my pillars, financial planners are my pillars, accountants are my pillars, contractors are my pillars, insurance agents are my pillars, and they say, like, wow, you see how many pillars I have? I'm like, you know what, I got no argument for that. So if you're constantly building that out that way, you've got a very, very solid business. So this to me is the gold the gold standard for growing referral partners. Let's go to number 5 real quick. This is one that works incredibly well when you do it. Hey Dylan, can you mute your mic for just a sec? So, because it's coming through on my end.
Oh, sorry about that, Ron.
Okay, thanks. Here it says host benefit, but it's actually called a host beneficiary relationship. Host beneficiary relationship is a host is a partner who has a database which contains potential clients for you. So an attorney, accountant, financial planner, or a realtor. Okay? What do most people do when they go to an attorney, accountant, financial planner, or realtor? They're asking for business. The idea behind a host beneficiary relationship is that you're actually helping the host, the attorney, the accountant, financial planner, get more potential business. Excuse me, and even if you don't get them more potential business, you're actually going to help them look better in their customers' eyes. The way that works is it's a marketing plan that benefits both the host and you. The marketing campaign to the host database provides a direct benefit to the host to increase their business or increase their relationship. And the way it works is this. It drives clients back to them, not to you. It's putting them in the driver's seat. See, a lot of times what people will ask is they'll ask the host, say, hey, could you send a letter to your sphere of influence recommending me? And although that works, the truth of the matter is it doesn't benefit the host, so they're going to be far more resistant to even do it. Where here, what we do, and this is an example, dear whomever, blah, blah, blah. As your preferred insurance company, we believe that it's not only our job to help protect you with your cars, homes, and or apartments, we also believe that letting you know about opportunities to save money is also part of the services we provide. Now let me just do a timeout here. This is an insurance broker sending this letter. Okay? So they're already standing out because they're saying we believe that we should be doing more. So the first thing they're doing, which is self-serving, there are always things changing in the insurance world that it may be possible for you to save money on your current premiums. I encourage you to give me a call, and in 5 minutes we can do a quick policy and coverage evaluation to make sure you're getting the best coverage for the best price. Now, that's one. Number 2, because we insure many homeowners, we also keep updated on what's happening with mortgage rates. Although the mainstream media has not really been reporting it, we wanted to let you know that mortgage rates have hit the lowest point in 12 months. Now, this you're going to modify based upon what's happening in the market. As a current homeowner, you may be able to save hundreds or even thousands. We are not in the business of writing mortgages. However, as mentioned above, we are always looking for ways to save our clients money. We know a few incredibly professional loan officers and lenders in your area to offer some of the lowest mortgage rates available. It'd be my pleasure to give you their contact information. Bingo, right there. You're telling them to contact you, the host, not you, the loan officer, your host. And now the host gets to have their conversation about their business and now refer you, which makes it an even stronger referral than if they just called you off of a letter. You'll get more of your hosts to send this letter. You're going to have to prepare everything. You're going to have to send it out for them, or you're going to prepare everything, and then they're going to send it out to their database. You can send a letter. You know, my clients, they get a specific letter for homeowners. They get a specific letter for people who own apartments, a specific letter for insurance agents or accountants. There's all different letters with different tweaks that you want to customize for each person or each host that's sending it out. So this is an incredibly powerful way for you to grow your business. And I brought up the picture of a Parthenon again because I'm hoping you're seeing that there are so many ways for you to build your business. There's so many more ways for you to build your business. And the more pillars you have, the stronger your business is going to be. And this is just five simple ways of you growing your business. Very quickly, before we go to the questions, I want to let you know about another exclusive event that I'm doing. 2 events, actually. They're in August 4th and August 5th in San Diego, and August 11th and 12th. It's a 2-day event in New York. They're both 2 days events. There are only 10 students permitted. My Origination Breakthrough program is limited to only 10 people. I do not do mega events anymore. I gave those up. I do very ultra-private events because at these events what we do is we do face-to-face personal training and coaching right at the event. your specific business is looked at and analyzed in addition to everything else that I'm presenting. I'm the only presenter. There's no product shelves and all people just throwing all sorts of different services at you. I don't do that. I'm the only presenter. I don't have guest speakers. It's us working through a system of growing your business. Only 10 students per event, no exceptions. You may see 1 or 2 people in the back of the room because they may be graduates of the program coming back, because as a graduate you're allowed to attend as many times as you like. But in the main table, that is only for brand new attendees of the program. Over 30, remember the Parthenon? Only more than 30 high-impact, no-cost, low-cost lead generators will be taught to you. Now, I've shown you a few of them. I've talked about the letters and the scripts and what have you. When you attend this event, you get my scripts, you get my letters, you get my emails, you get everything to implement these strategies. You don't have to think about it. All you have to do is go home and do it. You're going to know what to say. You're going to know exactly how to say it. That's what my graduates do. They take it, they walk out of the room, and they use it. Because if you don't implement it quickly, you're not going to implement it at all. You don't have to buy anything extra to use what I'm teaching. It's all right there, and you take it, you leave, and then you decide which one of the things that you're going to use. I'm going to show you how to deliver the most powerful presentation of your career. It's called the Ultimate Agent and Prospect Presentation, because I'm going to show you exactly how to win over referral partners very quickly. I'm going to show you exactly how to win over the realtors at the open houses. I'm going to show you exactly how to say everything you need to say at the networking functions. I'm going to show you what to do when you're dealing with a prospect to win them over so rates and fees become less of a challenge. All of these things are taught in 2 days at Origination Breakthrough. You're going to know how to overcome any challenge that a lender, when they say a realtor says, I have a lender I'm already working with, I have an in-house loan officer. A borrower says, I can get a lower rate or I can get lower fees. You're going to know how to overcome all of these objections. You're going to know exactly what to say, how to say it, when to deliver it. I'm going to show you how to recapture time. So many people that come to my events, they say, I just don't have time to do this. Well, you know what? I'm going to show you, by analyzing your business and how you do it, how to recapture 10 or more hours per week that you're going to be able to put right into marketing. And just think about that for a second. If you're struggling to do marketing and you're doing X amount of loans, and now all of a sudden we add 10 hours of additional marketing time where you're meeting more people and connecting, what's going to happen to your business? It's going to go through the roof. But you have to know how to be more effective and more efficient. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. One of the things that I love at the event is on day one. These are the days are Thursday and Friday of the week. Okay, and you're going to get the breaks to make your phone calls and all that other stuff. But it's Thursday and Friday. And what happens is, because they're held at hotels, Thursday night, myself, because I'm staying at the hotel, Thursday night after class, the class runs from about 9 to 5, 9 to 6. I say, I'm going up, taking a shower, I'll be back in 30 minutes, I'll be at the bar. First round is on me. Whoever comes down, first round's on me, and what we do is the group, and almost every attendee shows up, and what we do is we talk about each person's business, and it's not just networking, it's taking the class to a whole new level. It's now much more social, and there's so much more that comes out of that gathering than what you would just get from the program. And to me, it's one of the best parts of the whole thing is when we all connect at the end. So what I love is when we leave the events, like everybody's hugging, saying goodbye. That's really kind of what happens at this event because it's so intimate, it's so private. So if you're looking to really grow your business and you're serious about taking that new level and really not just get more leads, but be a much better salesperson, have more time and more balance in your life, then what I'm going to urge you to do is just check out originationbreakthrough.com. If you use the code NMPU, you'll save $300. Okay? There's even there's even payment options, so you can actually not even pay for it in full before you attend, and you can start using what you've learned through the different payment options. What I will say to you is, you can see on the screen on the right, there's a 100% money back guarantee. You can stay for a day and a half of the event, up until lunchtime on Friday. You can stay till the event. You can say, hey, Ron, this is no good. I didn't like it or what have you. Not a problem. Hand me back your book, and you get a refund. That's it. No questions asked. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I will tell you, in the history of doing the program, I've never been asked for a refund. In fact, I've been asked, when are you doing your next one? I've been asked, when are you going to do a graduates program where you're going to bring everybody back that's been through the program, and that's going to happen in 2017. It's an incredible event. There's nothing like it in the business. It's not an infomercial. It's a true success event, and I guarantee it with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're interested in attending this event, go to Origination Breakthrough. It's 10 students per event, and just so you know, this is the first day that it's been promoted. So once it's sold out, it's sold out. There is no waiting list because people have paid for it, and that's it. So if you want to be one of the 10, go to Origination Breakthrough. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you register. Choose how you want to enroll. If you have questions, reach out to me. Just give me a call. If you want a free introductory coaching session because you can't attend the event, go to rvistrategy.com. Send me an email. If you want to find out more about the event, call me. I pick up my phone. Okay? Just dial this number at the bottom, extension 801. It rings right to my phone. Unless I'm in a meeting or on another call, I'm going to answer the call. I want to answer your questions. I want you to be comfortable in any decisions that you make. Origination Breakthrough is an incredible program. If you're interested in coaching and you want a free coaching analysis, go to rvistrategy.com, answer a few questions, and let me see if I can help you. I'd love to be able to work with you. With that, Dylan, what are some of the questions we have?
All right, so we've had quite a few come in. The first one is from Jamie, who asks, what if you ask your referral partners using the matrix and they say they will give you names, but they don't? Okay.
Part of that is how you asked. If you kind of just lobbed it out there, you usually don't get it. If that does happen, though, you have to basically, in your conversation with them, say, look, can I ask you a question? I know you're busy. I know you're going to figure out who you want to refer me to. When should I follow up with you? So if you set that in place at the first meeting, you're more likely to get the follow-through than if you just ask them. They say, yeah, let me think about it. They give you the let me think about it and you have no follow-up plan, then you're going to be left high and dry. So that's kind of how you avoid it. Great question, Jamie. Next question.
The next one is from Steven, who asked, how do I know what are the best marketing strategies for my business?
How do I know what the next marketing strategies are for my business? You said Steven?
Yes.
Steven, that is a good question. They're all good questions. But part of it is what are you comfortable with? Part of it is what's in line with your beliefs and values on how you want to grow your business, because not everybody wants to grow their business the same way. As I was talking about, even at Origination Breakthrough, I'm going to teach over 30 different strategies. Nobody's going to implement 30 different strategies. The question is, which are the best ones for you? And that's based upon alignment in your core beliefs and your values, alignment with your personality. It's alignment based upon how big you want your business to grow, because different strategies will work in different ways. Some of them you really can't regulate. Once you start them, you can end up getting more than you anticipate, and some people don't want that. Not to tell you, Stephen, but I will tell you at Origination Breakthrough, that's one of the things that we would have a one-on-one conversation about, because then I'd understand more about your business, or if you were coaching with me. So I don't do a hard sell to anyone. Anybody who knows me, I don't hard sell anyone. I just let you know what I do and offer you a 100% guarantee. So just wanted to let you know that there is no risk. Next question.
Here's one from Morgan, who asks, how do you get the host beneficiary to write the letter and send it out?
They're not going to write the letter. Morgan, you're going to write the letter. You're the one that has to put the letter together. You can ask them for their letter header. You can print it. You can do the mail merge from their database. But they're, in all likelihood, not going to do the letter. Once in a while, you get that person who's like-minded like you, where they're the small business person who understands the grunt work, and they'll say, I'll have my assistant on it, and they'll take care of it. But most of the time, you're the one that's going to have to put it together for them, and then they're going to just have to approve it.
Here's one from Craig. He asks, at the open house, how do you handle it if there's another loan officer there?
You leave. You leave. You have no business being there. You wouldn't want someone else interfering with your open house. You just say, hi, my name is Ron Vamer from ABC Mortgage. I did not want to infringe on anything that you're doing here. I apologize. And that's it, and you leave. If you want, you can introduce yourself to the loan officer, and I've seen that happen where they've had connections, and all of a sudden you have a, I was going to use the word comrade, but that's not the word I want to use. You have someone who you're connected with who is a peer in the business who maybe, you know what, if you have a deal you can't do, maybe they can do it. If they have a deal they can't do, you might be able to have reciprocal referrals going back and forth. I've seen that happen. Okay, but you don't want to infringe on anybody else that has someone there.
All right, and I think we have time for one more question. This one's from Liz, and she asks, will you be holding more events later in the year?
Liz, I'm assuming you're talking about the origination breakthrough. We are not sure yet. We probably will, but in all likelihood they will not be held in the same cities that these are. We do believe in moving the program around the country. If we do end up with a waiting list for either one of these events, then we could very well, with a commitment from people, we could actually hold a second event at the venues shortly after. But that would all be dependent upon a waiting list. It would not be, once we're in San Diego, we're probably not going to be coming back for a year. We were just in San Francisco last month, and now we just decided to finish out the summer, July and August, to give people a good jump to hit the ground running in September versus waiting for September and then trying to get the ground running. We want to give you all the tools so you can go right into the fall seamlessly and without missing a step. So there will always be notifications going out as to where and when we're doing these, but we do not have any other cities scheduled at this time. It's our focus right now is San Diego and New York. All right, well with that, we've been here an hour. I want to thank you. We had a tremendous turnout today. Thank you so much for being here today. And hope to see you at Origination Breakthrough or reaching out to me for an introductory coaching session or a question. And again, feel free to call me. That number rings directly to my cell phone. And I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank NMP for sponsoring and myself being part of NMPU, which is the education portion of NMP, and look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Thanks, everybody.
On Ron's behalf and on my behalf, I also want to one more time give a thank you to the attendees for joining us. Thanks, Ron, for providing the excellent content, as you always do. We're going to send out a copy of the PowerPoint and a copy of the recording of this webinar tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can email Ron at the address on the computer now. And we look forward to seeing you on our next webinar, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.